So Leopoldo asked for me to send him a couple of poems that he could put up, and I did, and then I'm pulling the bait and switch because I'm not going to read either of those two tonight. So I've just got 3 poems tonight.
Dog doesn't like that.
Yeah. They're all love poems, and I hate love poems, but what am I going to do? There it is, and they're all really going to be dealing with how do the broken-hearted love, and we're going to start out with anger. So this poem is called "Love Poem from the Bering Sea." It comes out of my work as a fishery scientist. I spend a fair amount of time out at sea for the last 35 years. And this is a fiction, but not really. And it's got one word in it, probably it's worth pointing out the definition. The word is missal, M-I-S-S-A-L, which is a prayer book. Love Poem from the Bering Sea. This pig slugs it out ugly. Combers crash the rail when she wallows, coming about on buoys. Diver, trailer, and cork, whiplash, whitecaps. We hook our crab pot, her prow snouts to port. Following seas heave past her stern, her hips caught in their rough white grip and clout. Her haunches lurch, the way a woman learns her lover's touch when he works the curved keel through her vertebrae. Her mains rev, we turn, the mate's hand wrenching her jog stick. Her steel shudders hull deep, a roller shoves her low, ton upon ton. We hold tight while she heals. She comes back, but her writing feels slow. Fuck this fucking first mate. He steers for shit. Somehow the skipper sleeps through our twit show. The next pot clears the rail. Bad luck won't quit. We dog her in the rack, tilt her up, shake her out. Nothing but exhausted bait hits the sorting table. Food for kittiwakes. The birds flare in and out of our harsh light, blazing through snow flurries where gales tear flakes, where sodium vapor flood lamps ignite wind to feather. Clustered in the cross trees, our crown of fire burns white, thorning the night, yet the night remains untorn, our degrees of heat doused by squalls. Broken seas throw spray. Ice sheets to bulwarks, bait starts to refreeze. We reach a pot, grapple, and haul away. Another blank swings from the picking hook, coiled in shots, buoy line skims with ice. A frayed carrot bend flakes through the coiler, uncrooks in the gloves of the deck boss. A fresh knot forms, bent to that sailor's fury. He looks pissed at everything. Fearing getting caught in his glare, the greenhorn scurries to make bait. Our deck boss seizes the tails of each shot with vinyl tape and braces as the mate buries the rail once more. Down in the ditch for a wicked ride, we hold our breaths and wait, willing our pig to come back, bodies hitched to her writing arm and her load letter. No one knows how far ago the wind switched. No one remembers a time not battered by weather fetched against our starboard beam. No one believes in anything better. Just strings of empties rising up, our dreams of money shucked like leached out bait, our rage seeping black as abyss, leaked from the seam between salt and punch drunk. I try to gauge latitudes pistoned north by my vessel, each degree compassed by the wound I wage. I hate being this tired. Diesel's muscle distance from my wife. I would kneel and spread pages of my prayer book, the sweet missile written between that woman's thighs. We'd shed the world among bed sheets rucked wild as crest and trough, but this boat wallows ugly. Red rusts her flanks, gales punch their fists from the west, and I cannot remember my wife's breasts. So now we're going to leave the sea behind. And this one is called Love Song of a Motherless Child. Every time the woman purses her lips, my ticker reverses. Blood rockets backwards in my brain. Struck stupid, I would bawl and chain myself to anything she said. Guilty is what I've always pled. Every time the woman marries me, I carry desire to term. Want is the cargo I ferry. She shudders each time I violate her contract, her terms of pleasure determined when I exact my codicil. Tight clauses bind us to our freight. We invoice each other for the goods we gestate. Every time the woman's father's specter's countenance appears on my face, rage blinds her against me and we lose entire years. Tell me a story. Once upon a time, a child was erased. Now go to sleep. It's getting late. I bear this weight with the grace of a hate-racked man. I attack my erasures and shackles, but my anger recedes when her finger traces my knuckles. Every time the woman wants to kiss me, we must set free what haunts our tryst. Once upon a ghost, a chained slave grown. Distraught by broken bonds, the disowned distrust touch. But her kisses are fierce. I grip her wrists, I press, I am pierced. Every time the woman moves me, but my mother comes in our bed, I am alone. A woman strikes me mom. Tell me a story. Once upon a time, a boy lives. He is in a room. That's it. That's all I know. I'd give anything to learn my cargo, to hear my secret. I can't remember the last time I kissed without regret. Every time the woman smiles, my stomach lurches. I'm never sure what to mimic. I mask my secret mask breaks. Vision fractures her till her offer makes this locked body unlock my chained stranger. He's freighted with hunger for her danger. Every time the woman shies away, I study her thighs. Slyly, my eye weighs each breast. But my hands lie safe at rest on an armchair nowhere near. I know her fears. I know fear. Every time the woman spread her legs and a boy issued from that dark which all women carry to the world's fissure, I learned the woman who had borne me to term was too hurt. I kissed our sons, I kissed their mother. What I carry, dirt stained, ravenous as a child, kissed me. I am not prey. My body does not believe this yet, but I am not prey. Every time the woman sighs there, I woe. It isn't her fault. It's my sweat that salts sheets roughed in our bed. I wrestle the dead. Every time the woman sheds her blouse and casts visions to my sly eye, our years gallop past. I weigh her offer so firmly she flinches. I heft the silver in her hair. What inches beyond her fingertips, what exceeds her grip, flees us for decades with my hands on her hips. Every time the woman touches me, I'm human. I learn it for decades. As the instant cascades across the tip of skin, she has taken me in. So those were all, in my way of thinking, a little bit long. And now we're going to do the long one. But don't worry, it's in little pieces. You'll be able to stand it. And if you're just getting sick of this, it's 5 little pieces, so you can count. Are we there yet? What is gone from me? Arboreal. This orchard broods shadow under apple blooms. Sun patches waver, shifting when light winds rumor movement by sighs and whispers. I hear my breath ghost near, as if cast adrift on clear airs. Seeming to ease the least stirring of breeze, dust motes denote slight current and updraft layered in thin light, almost message-laden. Silence filters in. The afternoon steeps. Assonance absorbs into chapel apses where bees at their burring dandle blossoms. Insects accent a grammar and syntax, marking their map by wing beat and murmur, syllables affixed to nectar in their text. Their wings curry a skir and drone and carry meaning beyond any meaning to me. Quietly, this low-lying nave fills with dying. Loading my transept with half-sung excerpts, engraving this grove of dust, beam, and green, encoding cargoes these worker bees ferry, survival derives to small death, and deciphers lumens by chlorophyll, fructose, and hive, as if I could love what is gone from me. Chapel Grove. These boughs raise rectories. These leaves house green epistles. Among upper stories, breezes rustle passages as if conducting recitals, as if rehearsing verses, as if sifting messages in missals printed where winter once broke buds. These petals unfurl another generation, blooming over wreckages leafed to mulch, then leveled in the final hard freeze, cracked down in the previous dark time, latent hovels that blossom to charge with nectar in this ghetto prophesied by apple seeds. Disheveled by the violence of seasons, myth suffers encoding in gametes. Encrypted fables cling like death, legends transcribed to leg bristles of worker bees. Their dances ravel small scriptures. Nimble among sun arrayed like rafters or joists, they inflect fires dusted in tears, punctuating radiances adrift through naves that seem fallen to ruin, chancel railings angled, derelict, lilting a litany fit to tilt light stained through apple leaves, jostling the filtered stillness of vaults more luminous than gemstones. Laborers bustle honeycomb sermons. Gold gilds them from pistil to pulpit, flowing molten through vein and membrane as wings rumble the color of their lodestone. Foragers quarrying for ore, for pollen, these bees delve among archworks that seem to have collapsed in a jumble, buttresses of sunshine that scrawl as if struck down to crumble around a tabernacle as abandoned and ephemeral as masonry. Apse, lapse, collapse. As if silence arrives on the wings of bees, as if what is gone had never grown dumb, as if a hive slowly winds down its hum, as if I could love what is gone from me, as if a presence wandering among trees, as if a singing cadenced when wings thrum, as if silence arrives on the backs of bees, as if what is gone had never grown dumb, as if these leaves never shifted a breeze, as if what is gone had never become, as if honeycombs cloister light through slums, as if I could love what is gone from me, as if silence arrives on the wings of bees. Sepulchre. This day erupts in my mouth like thistle flowering. This day thickens my tongue, stifling my revivals. On this day, Pentecost and survival of the fittest burn like honey wrung from living words and stung into submission. Pistil and stamen, sepal and ovary and anther, stigma and nectary swollen with bait, I leaf through these, the living gospels of this day, and I recite them, their transmissions packaged into fruiting vessels, structured as code and sugar and pollen, conveying blue-printed trajectories down long corridors of afternoons, those slums through which the one day stumbles a new victory, my prayers humble beyond my praying. Orchard Annunciations. Breezes leaf through the pages of the trees, lisping aloud that news the world encrypts. Listen, I tell myself. Perhaps what slipped loose will whisper an answer to your pleas. Blossoms muttered in the language of bees, tender pollen to flight, proffer codes shipped beyond cipher, glyphs broken glint by wing as if spoken to hives, to honey dripped in minor keys, missives printed into insect transcripts. How beautiful this day of death, how mild. I understand the news, each word so sweet I can taste nothing else. I turn to greet the same breezes that have left me beguiled since the first day kissed my lips. Down green aisles arched over with green, these tidings repeat. Congregants intoning loads, bees, ferry cargoes down roads recorded where wind caresses exiles, decoded in sunlight, mapped by wing beat. Listen, I tell myself. Bees at their psalms navigate apple trees. Their dumb platoons ease sugar into the world, where they croon in the eaves of this grove, hear a deep, calm ringing till the bowl of you fills and alms spill out. Each apostle droning your wound, every bee in its winging, shall name this day of stinging sweetness, shall thrum news attuned to that balm which steeps in chalices of afternoons.